Videos like this are actually fun to make because I love bringing great news to you guys. And we just got a massive update today about the pre-order situation here in the United States. And, well, thanks to being announced yesterday, Canada as well. We've been wanting good news ever since the pre-orders were delayed last week due to the tariff situation in the United States against other countries, reciprocal tariffs and all that. And yes, we are going to have to get a little bit political today because we need to talk about this news as it pertains to Nintendo Switch 2 because a massive announcement just came out about it. And if I told you it's positive news, I'm smiling over here. This is great news. Pre-orders should be starting up. I mean, it could technically be as soon as tomorrow. News should go pretty fast on this. A decision out of Nintendo of America should be pretty swift here, and we'll talk about that as well. We also are bringing in friend of the channel, Jake Randall, a little bit later in this video because he is the man to go to for pre-order stuff. He's got a little bit he wants to say on this. So, guys, why don't you strap in, buckle up, and get ready to go enter our Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway. We're giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 down in the pinned comment and in the description. It takes you out to a website called Viral Sweep. I wish all of you guys luck. We'll be drawing the winner a week before the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. All right, enough messing around. Let's get to the news. And before I show this particular website, I know it can be a little contentious on the internet with politics and what side of the aisle you're on. And I get that. I don't know what websites you guys all consider to be reliable or what websites you prefer to look at. So we're going to be looking at the New York Post because that's where I first saw this news. But I want to just make a note here that no, this does not mean that this is the best place to get this news from. Maybe you can go to your preferred outlet and double confirm this. But we're going to head on over here. It says Trump pauses tariff hikes for 90 days against most countries, but raises China's rate 125% over the lack of respect in an escalating trade war. So President Trump announced Wednesday that he has heightened his reciprocal tariff scheme, and it was being paused for 90 days in response to overtures from dozens of countries. But duties on Chinese imports would be heightened to 125% due to the lack of respect from Beijing. This is a direct quote here, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also effective immediately, Trump wrote on Truth Social, sending Wall Street's major indices soaring. The president announced his reciprocal tariff rates customized for each country exactly 1 week earlier, leaving countries scrambling to negotiate better terms with the U.S. More than 75 countries have contacted the White House to discuss one-for-one trade deals, Trump claimed, but China, who initially got hit with the 34%, they're going back and forth. We're not going to dive too much into the China stuff. And that is the news. And if you don't believe me, here is the originating source over on Truth Social, President Donald J. Trump, saying all of this exact thing, right? The 90 days, the 10%, all of that. So what do we know? Well, the tariffs, hey, they're not 46% on Vietnam. They're not 49% on Cambodia. We're only at that 10% rate, and that's what it's going to stay at. There's going to be negotiations going on. Look, guys, this is all really great news for Nintendo Switch 2. After they announced the delay last week, and then they announced the Canada delay yesterday, we've all been wondering, damn, dude, this thing comes out on June 5th. They keep saying it's still going to come out on June 5th. What the heck is Nintendo going to do? Are the prices going to go higher? Are negotiations going to happen? Well, negotiations are now underway. We don't obviously know where those negotiations are going to lead. But what we do know is with a 90-day delay, that takes us literally out into July or a full month after the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. So you can't really wait for the 90 days to be up to make a decision. And now you know during this entire time it's going to be 10%. Obviously, Nintendo can't predict what the future tariff negotiation and agreement is going to be between the United States and Vietnam that provides all the Nintendo Switch 2 units to the United States. And we can't obviously know what this is going to mean for Cambodia that provides other parts. And yes, China's going to go a little crazy. And of note, some accessories from Nintendo, the camera, the Pro Controller, those actually all come from China. So those prices could change, or maybe Nintendo just changes where they're manufactured, so then they could end up coming into the United States for much cheaper. That could be a change Nintendo makes as well, but that's on the manufacturing side. Nintendo will need to talk about that with investors next month on May 8th. That being said, I did mention Jake Randall had something he wanted to say, so take a listen to friend of the channel, Jake Randall.
Appreciate you, Nintendo Prime. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, my main thing that I do is track pre-orders for new consoles. I've been on the Today Show, I've been on the New York Times, for just being able to help people beat the bots and not have to pay scalpers so that actual gamers can enjoy consoles. And this news today is massive. And while some people might point out that, well, Nintendo hasn't announced anything official yet, it's going to come very quickly. As soon as the tariffs were announced, the announcement of delaying the pre-orders came very quickly. Nintendo will respond to this, and it's going to be good news. And as Nintendo Prime has been fantastic at pointing out all of the misinformation spreading about the Switch, it is a relief to finally hear something positive. As I'm sure Nintendo Prime has pointed out, this could mean that for launch, stock in the US actually ends up being better because Nintendo pushes out as many units as they can to the US before tariffs potentially rise again. But again, they're pushing things out a few months, probably so real negotiations can take place. So in the long run, the price of the Switch never ends up being affected. If you want to stay on top of pre-orders, you can follow me on Twitter X. Make sure you're following Prime there too, of course. Back to you, Nate.
And that's the thing, folks. We are sitting here trying to make sure you guys can get your hands on a Switch 2 day one. You really should go follow Jake Randall on his socials, also on his YouTube channel. He's going to be doing live streams when pre-orders go live, trying to help people out. The bottom line is we want you to secure the damn bag. Jake Randall's going to be helping me, and through him, through me, through whoever you follow on socials, we're just trying to help you get that Switch 2 if you really, really want to have it on day one, or if you want to get it on restocks as well. He'll be all over that, trying to help people out. Folks, the whole point of this news story today is that we should be hearing fairly soon from Nintendo. As Jake mentioned, if you guys remember, Nintendo acted very quickly when these tariffs were originally announced by the President of the United States. And here's the thing, now that this has been announced again by the President today, and now that we know for sure, no matter what, it's just 10% for the next 90 days, and then we move on and on and on. And there's negotiations, and it's highly likely never going to be at that scared 46% that was originally announced. Now, Nintendo can get to work. Chances are prices aren't going to change for the system or the games. I know some people maybe want the prices to come down. That doesn't seem likely. But what I will note is that accessory prices potentially could get more expensive, or Nintendo eats the loss on the accessories as they transfer that to a different country. It doesn't really matter. Right now, what matters is this is all going all the way through to Nintendo Switch 2 launch, and because of that, Nintendo's likely to get pre-orders up very, very quickly. We're already cutting it close on pre-orders as it is. We're like 57 days away from the Nintendo Switch 2 release. This thing is coming out, folks. It's coming out, and want to get your hands on it. Not this one. Guys, this is not a real Switch 2, okay? This is just a mock-up. A really good mock-up. It fooled some of you guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys tune in and check out Jake Randall's channel. Check out my channel as well. We're going to try to keep you as up-to-date as pre-orders as we can. I'm not planning to be doing any live streams to help people get pre-orders because I'm going to be like a lot of you guys. I'm trying to get the pre-orders too. But if they happen to go up while I'm live streaming one of these nights, then I guess we're all fighting for them at the exact same time on live, huh? Anyways, hoping to see you guys tonight on the Nintendo Byte podcast, where we're going to talk more about the pre-order situation. Jake Randall's going to be coming on, and then we'll move forward from there and get into our hands-on impressions and some exclusive news about the Nintendo Switch 2 is dropping tonight as well on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Back to a hype day for Switch 2. I'll catch you later.